folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be doing another episode of World in Flames Collector's Edition, Days of Decision 3 Combined Game Playthrough. This is going to be the May-June 1942. I almost said 1939. Alright, I guess we'll just get started right off. So let's go take a look at starting money. Starting money for this turn. Adjustment. Okay, so we have Germany at 4, Japan at -4, Italy at -3, USSR at -3, Commonwealth at -6, the US is at +3, China's at 1, and Free France is at -5. Now these totals do include some nations we're scrapping some units. The rules specify that you supposedly can only scrap 1 unit per turn, but sometimes I just scrap multiple units, and then other turns I just outright skip it because there's a lot of counters on the board and it's hard for me to keep track. So when I get to it, I do. I just scrap whatever they got, whatever they feel necessary, and then I just go from there. So I would just like to make a few comments right now about how I think the game is going. I think it's at a tipping point right now. I think this summer is going to be critical. Either the fascists are going to be able to do it and prevail, or they're going to fail and start getting pushed back probably pretty quickly. That's just what it seems to me right now. The democracies are probably a little bit behind where they are, where they would be historically. I mean, they should be in Italy right now, but nobody's won the game one way or the other. So we're going to keep playing and see how this turns out. But as of right now, I think that it's slightly leaning for the fascists. Just because of the African situation, the situation in the Pacific. Not so much in Russia. Yeah, they're a little bit ahead in Russia, but not that much. And that can be quickly reversed. Okay, so that being said, I just wanted to make a few comments about how I thought the game was going right now. Let's go take a look at the bids for the major powers. We got the U.S. is bidding 5, the Commonwealth is bidding 3, Japan's bidding 1, Germany's bidding 1, and the Free French are bidding 1. Now, yes, the U.S. is bidding 5, and the Commonwealth is bidding 3. Now, why are they doing that? Because they have a situation they want to try something to try to solve that situation, and that's basically what they're trying to do. They have an issue, and they think they can solve it politically. They would rather solve it politically, but if it comes to military, solving it with the military, they'll do that too. Well, let's see how this is going to shape up on the old initiative position track. All right. So we have the U.S. bidding 5. They get a +3 for their third place position. That gives them 8. That definitely puts them in first. The Commonwealth is bidding 3. They get a +3. That gives them 6. That's going to put them in second. Japan's bidding 1. They get a +4. That's 5. That's going to put them in third. Germany is bidding 1. They get a +2 for 3. That's going to put them in at fourth. And the Free French are bidding 1. They get 0, which is going to be 1, and that will put them in at fifth. So the first last card will be on the U.S. and the last card will be on the Free French. Now for the non-bidding major powers, we have the Soviets at +2. That'll put them at 6. We have the Italians and the Chinese at +1. And we go over to the political effectiveness track. We see Italy is at 3, China's at 1, so Italy breaks that tie. And China, once again, is down at the bottom where they spent most of the early parts of the game. All right, let's see, first up is the U.S. Let's go take a look and see what they want to do. So the U.S. is going to be trying to use influence, and they're going to try to influence Mexico. That problem that the Commonwealth and the U.S. had been discussing, that is the problem. It's Mexico. The Mexico marker is right next to Japan, just above the fascist ideology. And both the U.S. and the Commonwealth figure if the Japanese get a treaty with Mexico, they'll move the marker and align Mexico, which is not something the Commonwealth or the U.S. want at this point. So, the U.S. is going to take a chance. This is a chance roll. And they're going to try to gain some influence with Mexico. Now, this is a die roll. So the prerequisite for this is the initiative position is less than Mexico's, the minor's willpower. And Mexico's willpower is 4. So the U.S. position is 1. So they get to do that. The cost for this is going to be 9 minus the minor's willpower, which is 5. And we just roll a die and see what happens. An 8. That's an awesome roll. That is an awesome roll. An 8. We look over here. Choose everybody. Okay, roll a die. An 8 is going to give the U.S. +3 in that minor. So I will put that marker on. Now, because this is a zero letter, this particular one is 0K. The U.S. will not get to activate a minor. It's just something I do as a house rule. But we do not roll to end the political phase. There's a +2 to the roll for the political phase, so there's no sense rolling until after at least the Commonwealth goes. So we will move on to the Commonwealth and see what they want to do. Okay, the Commonwealth is going to make a minor economic agreement with Mexico. The major initiative must be less than or equal to minor's willpower. Like I said, during the U.S. political phase, Mexico's willpower is 4. The Commonwealth's initiative position is 2, so they do meet the prerequisites. Now, what the Commonwealth wants to decide is that do they take 2 or do they take 1? They're only going to get the +1 anyways. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a factory and an oil resource from Mexico. What that will do is that will just give the Commonwealth another production point. So I think we're going to spend the $8, which is expensive. And I think the U.S. will absorb part of that burden. The U.S. also paid for the bid for the Commonwealth. And we're going to get a factory and we're going to get a resource from Mexico. And I'm going to mark those down. And when we come back, the Commonwealth will get to activate a minor. Okay, strange things, strange is strange. We're going to have to do something strange. The Commonwealth is going to activate Mexico. So we'll come over to the status display. You can see where Mexico is. Right next to Japan. This is why both the Commonwealth and the United States were so concerned. We have 4 points, so that's going to drag the marker 2 hexes away from Japan. And that is just fine with both the Commonwealth and the United States. We just have to make it we just have to make the cost too much for the Japanese to bother, because they're kind of in a little bit of a war right now. All right, let's see. So there's been one previous political option played. We have a +2 to the die. So again, we do not roll to end the political phase. It's a waste of time. We will move down to Japan and see what the Japanese want to do. Well, Japan was indeed going to try to sign an alliance with Mexico and try to align them, but this kind of sabotaged that. It went from being basically a no die roll and an automatic to now it would be a -2 to the die roll, which is not an automatic. So I don't think that Japan really wants to chance it. She thinks her resources would be better spent in things that are more guaranteed. So what she's going to do, she's going to build another factory. She has plenty of resources right now, but she does definitely have a lack of factories, so she's going to spend the 8 build points and build a factory. There's no minor effects for this. She doesn't get to activate a minor. So the only thing she's going to do is roll to see if she ends a political phase. Now this is a straight up roll. An 8 does not, and we will move on to Germany and see what they want to do. Okay, Germany. Germany has decided that they're going to develop infrastructure. That's the political option I use to build these politics and flames counters, the extra resources that are on the board. I mean, can either use that one or use build factory synth. It doesn't really matter. They're both zeros. So I'm going to do that. That's what Germany's going to do. It's going to cost her 7 to build this and 5 turns. There's no political effects for this. Germany does not get to activate a minor because, again, it's a 0 political option. And so I'll pay that cost and put this on the production chart, and we'll roll a die to see if Germany ends the political phase. Now 1 or 2 will end the political phase. 4 does not, so we will move on to the Free French. We'll be back in a second with them. Well, Free France kind of got left out in the lurch here by both the Commonwealth and the United States, dealing with their little issue over there in the Americas. They had hoped to get a level 3 treaty with the U.S., but that didn't turn out quite the way they had figured it. So what they're going to do is they don't want to spend any money. So they're just going to do increased bid points, and that's going to give them twice as many bid points as their current modified political effectiveness. France is 3, so that's going to give them 6 bid points. And that is going to end the political phase, and we will move on to initiative and weather, and then taking a look at the reinforcements. Okay, let's roll initiative. We got the blue is the democracies, the red is the communists, and the white is the fascists. And we currently have a 0 modifier for the Democrats, a +1 for the communists, and a +2 for the fascists. All right, let's roll this, see what we get. Well, I think the fascists have won, hands down. We have a +1 to the weather die roll for this turn, May, June. It's probably going to be pretty good weather. So I think I'm going to take a chance with the fascists, and we're going to go first. Now that means it's up to the communists, or actually it's up to the Democrats, whether or not they want to go second or third. I don't really think it matters very much to them. I think the Democrats want to go last. We'll put the communists in second, the Democrats in last, and the fascists in first. Now, let's go check out the weather roll and see if the guess that the fascists made about good weather actually comes to fruition. Well, we have a +1 to this roll, so let's see what we get. And it's a 5, which becomes a 6. Well, that's right here. That's fair weather everywhere except the north monsoon has rain. The impulse marker will move up 1. And there's no modifier to the weather roll for next turn, so I'll take that die out. North monsoon has rain. Everybody else is fair. So I guess that was a pretty good guess for the fascists. think they're pretty happy with that right now. Let's get this out of here. I'm going to lay the reinforcements out and come back. When I come back, I'll show you what we're getting for reinforcements for this turn. Okay, here we have reinforcements. That's the U.S. reinforcements. A whole bunch of baby carriers, some offensive points, some pilots, 8 more convoy points, and the headquarters. They're going to need that. We also have some Chinese reinforcements coming in, infantry army, a anti-aircraft unit, and a pilot. The Italians are getting another carrier, a couple of pilots. And Germany's getting a whole swath of stuff, including a pretty good anti-aircraft unit. Some Swiss, some Swedish and Finnish units, a Ukrainian unit, and another carrier. Imagine that. The British don't have, or the Commonwealth don't have too much coming in. 1 land unit, bunch of ships, 1 ship, and a bunch of aircraft. Oh, and the Iraqi cavalry. And the Soviets don't have a whole lot coming in either. Some infantry, some divisions, 3 pilots. That'll help them. And the Japanese have another headquarters coming in, and halfway decent naval air unit. And that's about it for them as well. So, we're going to get these on the table. And we'll be back with our first set of very interesting impulses. The fascists are up first, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the movement and calculate any attacks they have, and I'll come back with the dice rolls for those attacks. Okay, we'll start out with the Japanese, and what we have over here is we're going to have a Japanese carrier task force launching a port attack on Ceylon. There are no Commonwealth fighters there, however, they can fly combat air patrol, and I guess they're going to fly 1. No, they'll fly 2. Why not? Fly them both. Alright, so we got to make search rolls. Smile the die. All units are participating. This is just for surprise points. Well, the Allies rolled really bad, a 10, or the Commonwealth, and the Japanese rolled pretty good, which is a 3. So it is the highest modified search number of the units included in combat. In this case, it's 3 for the Japanese, and your opponent's unmodified search roll, which is going to be 10 for the Commonwealth. So that's 13, and from that we surprise what does... Okay, so they're in a 5. They're a major port, so that's 5. And 5 and 3 is 8. So we're going to have 5 surprise points. 5 whopping surprise points. Now, I got to figure out the anti-aircraft, and I'll come back with that and see what they shoot down. Oh, this no, actually, first there's going to be some air combat. I'll figure out the fighter streams, and I'll be back with that in a second. Okay, first thing we do is we fight some air-to-air combat. We got 2.1 versus 4.4, which is 2.3 difference, so it's going to be +2, -2. The Commonwealth will fire first. Let's see. Get someplace to roll some dice. Alright, Commonwealth will fire first. On the -2, they get a 12, which is a very bad roll. 12 is attacker clears through any one bomber. We'll clear through this guy. Put him over here. Alright, now the Japanese get to shoot back on the +2. And they roll just as bad with a 12. On the +2, attacker clears through another bomber. Let's see here. We'll clear through this one. Alright, now the Commonwealth shoots back. And they roll another lousy 12. 4 and an 8. Oh, attacker clears through a bomber. What are we going to clear through? I'll clear through this guy. Alright. Now the Japanese, the fighters can't seem to shoot anything. They just keep clearing through stuff. That's an 11. That's another really bad roll. 11. Defender clears through a bomber. Okay, so now the Commonwealth will clear through a bomber. Let's see, what is the most useless one? This guy. Alright, now the Commonwealth rolls again. They roll a 9. Jeez, keep rolling just a little far off the table. 9 on the -2 is attacker clears through any one bomber. We'll clear through this guy. Now the Japanese roll. They get a 13. Wow, can anybody shoot anybody? This really, really is bad. Oh, defender aborts. Defender aborts own front fighter or bomber. I guess they have to abort their front fighter. That really sucks. Now, let's see. They are at +3, -3. I think it's the same, isn't it? +3, -3. No, it's another table over. Well, we'll roll it. See if the Baffin can actually do anything. Well, that's a 15. On the -3. Defender aborts. Defender aborts on front fighter, front bomber. We will abort our front fighter. So he goes home. Not sure which carriers they came off. I'll figure it out later. They get to shoot back though on the +3. They roll a 14 on the +3. 14. Attacker aborts. So we got rid of the last fighter. All the remaining bombers go through. The last Japanese fighter goes home and lands somewheres. Can't tell which goes on what. I'll figure that out. I'll figure out which planes go on which carriers later. Alright, so that's the end of that. Now I got the Japanese have 5 surprise points. So 5 surprise points. We have 16 anti-aircraft with, I figure this out, 3, 6, 8 aircraft. Anti-aircraft, 16, 8 aircraft. That's going to be highest of 3 dice. We'll junk it down to. It's going to be the lowest of 5 dice. Well, I think. Let me check something real quick. Okay, Japan changed their mind on that. Instead of moving it down 2 columns, we're going to move it down 1 on the anti-aircraft. So it's going to be the lowest of 4, the lowest 2 out of 4 dice. So let's roll some dice. Let's see. So we got a pair of 4s. We got a 4, a 4. And 2 10s. Good thing it wasn't the highest. So that's 8. 8 points. 8 points. Anti-aircraft. 8 points. Each, okay. 5 points. Destroys 1 CVP or aborts 1 other bomber. So we're going to destroy 1 CVP. And we're going to abort 3 air to sea factors. I think we're going to get rid of this one. Actually, did I have any range 4 aircraft? I might have messed up. Yeah, I did. There's actually 6 surprise points. I'm sorry. I miscalculated that. That should have been 6. So we destroyed this. I think the pilot is dead. I'm going to assume it on a port attack. He's just dead. Maybe not. I'll have to look that up later. All right, so that was the anti-aircraft. Now we have 3 that are aborted, so I'll just abort this. And what do we have left? We have 6, 8, 11. We have 20. 20 air-to-sea factors. We have 2 shifts. 20 air-to-sea factors. 18 ships. All right, we got 4 sunk, 2 damaged, and 1 aborted. 4 sunk, 2 damaged, and 1 aborted. 4X, 2D, 1 abort. And so for the first sunk, we're going to go for one of the carriers. I don't think there's a difference in them. Actually, the Hermes is better, believe it or not. So we're going to go for the Hermes, and that saves. That needs an 8+ to save itself from getting sunk. It does not. It's sunk. And let's see, the Commonwealth will pick the DoDIII. That's an 8. He's sunk. And we will pick another carrier. That's the Argus. That's a 9. He only lives on a 10. He's gone. And the last one, the Commonwealth will pick, I will pick the heavy cruiser York. Only because it has 0 anti-aircraft. And the 7, he actually is damaged. And then we got 2 damages. Japan's going to pick the Warspit. Let's see if we can. Let's go with a Royal Oak. That's easier to damage. Warspit's a little too tough. Oops, I keep getting my arm in the way. Let's see. Royal Oak, you are damaged. See if he gets damaged. And he does indeed. So that's 2 damages. Now the Commonwealth will pick one. They're going to go for the Birmingham. Oh, I'm sorry, that is not damaged. That is aborted. I rolled a 5. That's a 4, so that's going to be aborted. We'll just flip him over. Okay, so then we're going to do the Birmingham. Okay. That is a 6. And that is damaged. That one actually is damaged. Okay, so we have 2 damaged ships. And then we get 1 aborted. That's the Japanese will pick that one. They're gonna abort. Oh, we'll go for the Warspit. Why not? We'll see if we can abort the Warspit. And he's not. He's half aborted, so he actually will not be aborted. Instead, he's going to go and rejoin all his pals. One ship is aborted. We got rid of the carrier air power anyways. That was useful. That was definitely useful. This should have gone. 1, 2, 3, 4. He should have went there. Alright, so I'm going to put all this back and come back. We have a potential, let's roll that right now. There's a potential sub-action here in the Arabian Sea. And they do indeed find it. They find something. Japan finds something with a 2 and a 10. The old British, the old Commonwealth, they like to roll 10s. So let me figure that out and be back in a second. Okay, we have a possible sub-action over here. The sub-action in the Arabian Sea. I didn't bother to show it because it turns out that the Japanese get 1 kill, which sinks to 3 convoy points. End of story. That was the end of that. The ASW doesn't even matter because of the 10 surprise points at the Japanese head. All right, we have a potential German sub-action here in the Faroes Gap. This is Germany spent 1 offensive point, and they took a land action. Oh, and Japan took a naval. And the Italians also took a land action. And we have I used the offensive point for 1 naval action, which allows Germany to move all their subs. In fact, I forgot to move something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That will be this one. That comes from Kiel. All right, let's roll some dice and see what happens. Oh, wow. Ooh, boy, this is a bad turn for the Allies. The roll comes out to be the worst possible one. A 1 and a 10. All right. I'm going to figure out the surprise points for that. Obviously, all these German subs are included. And I'll come back. There's going to be some pre-sub ASW. I think we have we got 2 here. Oh, there's another 2 here. I think that's it. I think that is it. Yeah, that's it. But there's 4 ASW pre-sub action. Well, we'll figure out the surprise points and what this is going to do. We'll be back in a second. Okay, Germany's going to use 4 surprise points to shift over the initial ASW of attack of 4 points on her subs to 1. The result is 1 aborted. We'll try to get rid of the 9. Yeah, I'd rather get rid of one of the 4-pointers. Yeah, let's try to get rid of this one right here. That's going to be a 7. Not a good turn for the Allies. That was only a half abort. That's not going to do much. Now, the rest of the ASW, there are 16. And there are 13 subs. That's going to be 2 sunk. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to use another 6 surprise points to drive that down to 1 sunk, 1 aborted. 1 sunk, 1 aborted. So I used another 6. I got 3 surprise points left. And the Commonwealth picks, and I'm going to use a 1 surprise point to change that to my pick. This is a sunk. Got any 2s in here? Oh yeah, right there. There's a bunch of 2s. There's a Lend-Lease French sub. It's not. It's actually a decent sub. Surprise. We're going to try that one. That's going to be the sunk. Well, let's see what they roll. Oh my God, they actually got a decent roll. That's sunk. Alright, the other one's aborted. We'll go for one of the other 9s. And I actually rolled a 10. Oh, come on. It's in a pile of counters. So he is half aborted. That would be this one. The low range ship. So they're half aborted. Okay, now we got the Germans. Lost 1 sub, so now we have 12 subs. Okay, and how many points do we have? We got 6, 12, 15, 18, 22, 25, 28. 28 and 5 is 33, and 3 more is 36. 36 sub points. It's not going to be good. Let's see. And they've got 9 ships. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 ships. 17 ships. Well, I'll use my last shift to move it over into the next column. We get 4 sunk, 2 aborted. 4 sunk and 2 aborted. All right. Well, for my first sunk, well, obviously, I'm going to pick one of the ASW units just because. And that is auto sunk. Now he gets to pick one. I think he's going to pick the Portuguese ship. I don't really care about them too much. And that's got a roll on a 9. A 7. Sorry. He goes down to Davy Jones's locker too. And I guess we'll pick that too. The heck with him. And the last sunk, the Commonwealth is going to pick this guy. This guy right there. Actually, I should pick a heavy cruiser if I have one. Do I have a heavy cruiser? I thought I did. Yes, we'll pick that guy. The Australian, who are we? Oh no, the Canberra. Oh no, don't get sunk. Oh, he did get sunk. Oh well. Can't have everything. And now we got 2 aborted. So the Germans are going to pick. We're going to pick 3 convoy points to abort. I got to get some of those used markers again. Okay, and the last, the Commonwealth player will pick. We'll try this guy, the 8. I'll see if he gets aborted. Well, he goes home. He goes someplace else. All right. So at the end of the round, the half aborts unabort. Oops, that's a 4. I'm sorry. He goes here. And the convo points go back in their box like that. And we roll search dice to see if there's another round. Either side can abort before. We're not aborting. The Germans aren't. And the Commonwealth can't abort, really. Let's see. Let's see what we get. Well, that's another pretty good roll. Where are you? Okay. There we go. 1 and a 3. It's not as good for the Germans, but it is still okay. I got to figure out the surprise points. It's 4. That's 7. That's 6 surprise points. That was easy. 6 surprise points. Just like that. All right, now I got to figure out. There's no pre-ASW. Now I got to figure out the ASW versus the subs. Be back in a second. Okay. Let me grab the dice. So, you got 6 surprise points for the U-boats. They're going to use all 6 to shift it down 3 columns, the ASW. That's going to shift it down to 1 damaged and 1 aborted. Let's see. The Commonwealth player will pick the sub to damage. I really don't think. Let's go with that guy because he's a lot of points. Okay, so damaged, and he is damaged. So I'm going to flip him sideways. He still participates, only has 1 less point. And there's 1 aborted. The German player will pick that guy. I guess we'll go with the 2 right here, this guy. So I got to roll a 10 not to have him aborted. And I rolled a 10. So there, Commonwealth. Now, we have 35 sub points against 9 ships. 8 ships. 35 sub points It's 8 ships. It's 3 sunk, 2 aborted. So the Germans will pick the first sunk. Obviously, 3 more convoy points, bite the big one. And then the Commonwealth will probably pick, oh boy. You know what? I think it's time for them to stop picking convoy points themselves because the ships are becoming more valuable. So I think the Americans are going to lose their 2 tankers, and the British will lose the Commonwealth will lose a tanker. So there's the 3. Now there's 1 more sunk. So the Germans will take 3 more convoy points. I got to put 1 change in. And now we have 2 aborts. The Commonwealth, they're going to go with a ship to abort. At least it won't be sunk. This one right here. And he does indeed abort. So he has to go sail back somewheres and spend the rest of the turn in a port. And then the Germans will abort 3 more convoy points. We'll take the 2 tankers and the convoy point just because I don't feel like making change. Leave the 5 US there, and that's the end of that round. And then we're going to search to see if we have another round. If there's another round, this whole Pharaoh's Gap is going to be denuded of convoy points. That's a 3 and an 8. There is another round. But all these subs will not be participating. No, because I forgot to subtract 1 from my die. I've been screwing the Germans the whole time. So that's actually a 2, a 1. A 1 and an 8. So everything does participate. And let's see. 4 plus 8 is 12. 1 is 11 surprise points. Yeah, I did. I screwed them. Yep, I did. Oh well, because I forgot to subtract the 1 from the die roll for every 10 plus convoy points. There was like 20-some plus convoy points there. Oh well, that's okay. The Germans will be just fine with how it's gone. All right. Oh, the damage sub, he should have been gone at the end of the round. All right. And let's see. Okay. ASW, there's 5 points ASW. We have 2, 3, 11 subs now. Five ASW. Yep. Oh, 5 ASW, 11 subs. You know, we're going to shift it all the way over. And that's 1 aborted. And we'll go for 1 of the 7s. Oh, geez. Rolled a 10. He does not abort. How many sub points are there? There's 10. I should just count this and write it down. 17, 23, 28, 30, 33 sub points. 33 sub points against 5 ships. That's going to be 2 sunk. We got 3 more shifts. 4 sunk, 2 aborts. 4 sunk and 2 aborts. 4x, 2 aborts. All right. Well, I guess I got to get change for the U.S. All right, sunks. Sunk. Now they get to choose a sunk. Now I got a fraction of a set of convoy points. How does that work? Oh, you know what? We're just going to sink it. And then we'll choose the Leander, which is a New Zealand ship, to sink that one. And he is sunk. And the last sunk will be the Dundee. And he is sunk. And I don't even have to abort anything because everything's sunk. At the end of the round, the German subs will abort. And that's the end of that. Now, I haven't even got to the main part of the turn for the fascists, which is the land combat. So let's go down to the Middle East. That's the first land combat. Just when you think the submarine menace is coming under control, the democracies get friggin' hosed in one turn. Alright. Okay. Let's see. We got one attack here. It's a 6-1 on the Blitzkrieg table. We're going to have a +1, -1 because we have multinational force, but we do have Rommel's Armored Corps here, and Rommel himself. So that gives me a 6-1 on the Blitzkrieg table, straight up. I'm not going to do any HQ benefits. I probably ought to, unless in case I roll a 1. I didn't. I rolled a 4. 4 is star 1B. So one guy dies. And one guy is shattered. I think the territorial from Palestine will probably have to die. And the Free French Cav from Syria, which I don't know how that works. He comes in next turn. There's no cadres with that. And of course, we're going to occupy the hex. Now we got units on either side. Oh, I'm sorry. I actually had a ground strike here. Forgot. I didn't see that. So we'll do that as well. It's not going to affect that combat over there. So the Commonwealth is going to intercept. And then the Italians will intercept with escorts. If I can figure out where they are. Yeah, let's not take any chance. We're going to go all out. Going all out. Alright. Doesn't really matter too much, but hey, why not? Alright, so we got fighter streams and bomber streams. The Commonwealth fires first. It's going to be on the +1, -1. Because it is 6 to 6.9 rounds to +1, -1. On the -1, Commonwealth shoots. They get the really lousy roll again. 13. Oh, it's actually a blank. And now the Italians shoot. Shoot! They get a 3. Oh, wow. That is AX. That is attacker quite dead. He will get the pilot back. So the pilot doesn't die. But the ground strike will go through. And these bombers, they got to go someplace. I don't remember where they were. I think they're in Alexandria, the fighters. Okay, so the bomber, he's going to do a ground strike on these 2 units here. So we're going to go, the red die will be on the motorized corps, and the green die will be on the headquarters. So let's go grab the dice. See what we get. Okay, so the headquarters, both are flipped over. Both are flipped over. That is a 2 tactical that the Italian bomber has. So he just flipped both of those units over. Wow. That is something. This seems to be like a banner turn for the fascists right now. Maybe the Italians will be in Washington, D.C. in a couple turns. That was a joke. All right. Let's see. We got a 4-1 over here with our friend the Turks. Oh, first we have a ground strike right here. We're going to do that first. There's no anti-aircraft anyways. No. Okay, so we got a ground strike. It's a 1. So the red die is going to be the French headquarters, and the green die will be the Commonwealth unit underneath. Well, that's a 2 and a 6, so no effect. So the Turkish plane, is it a biplane? The Turkish monowing doesn't do its job. He'll have to fly somewheres and be content with whatever he got. Alright, so we have a 4-1 right here. This is actually on the Blitzkrieg table. I don't think the French headquarters can lend support for this attack. Not sure what the cooperation rules on that are. Anyway, they're not going to. They're not going to do it anyways. They want to remain mobile in case things really go south. So it's going to be a 4-1 on the Blitzkrieg table with a +1. Let's roll it. See what we get. Oh, a bad roll. Bad roll of 3, which comes a 4. That's 1 loss to the attacker, and the defender has to retreat. So that was indeed a bad roll. 1 loss to the attacker. I think we'll lose this Turkish infantry division. And he has to retreat. But that's going to flip over all the attacking units. And I think we'll occupy the hex. And it's just a slow grind in this area. I should have used HQ support. It doesn't matter now. Because that would have given me a +2, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter too much. Oh, we got an attack over here against the partisan. That is going to be a 4-1 on the assault table. Oh boy, against partisans, no doubt. That's another bad roll. That's a 4. No, actually that's 1 loss to the defender. And no losses to the attacker, so Mr. Partisan is junk. Where are they? Right. So he's toast, but all the attackers are flipped over. Doesn't matter too much. Not going anyways. All right, now the big action up here in the Eastern Front. We've got several attacks. There might be some ground strikes here and there. I don't really know. I don't think so. I think the only ground strike is going to be a Nibelwerfer unit ground striking the hex it's attacking down in the southern part. So that's the only thing I have to deal with. All right, the first attack is right here. It's a 5-1 on the Blitzkrieg table with a +1. 5-1 +1 on the Blitzkrieg table. Let's see what we get. An 8. Uh-oh. Things are not looking up. Things are not looking good. That's a 9. That's a star 2B. That's going to be a breakthrough in the northern sector of the front. I think we'll put him here. Is that a 3? Yeah, okay, the 3 can go there. This is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 3 can go back in Leningrad. He's dead. The Russians will get the cadre for that. I could have used... Oh, you know what? I made a mistake. That was supposed to be HQ effects, not armor effects. But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I do believe this unit is now out of supply, because this is off-map hexes up here. This is on map, but this is off-map. Okay, so let's go a little bit further south. Actually, I just moved the whole camera over here. We got 3 more attacks to resolve. So the Germans could come up with. We got a 5-to-1 here. And that is also on the Blitzkrieg table. The Russians are not going to use their HQs because they don't have any nearby. So 5-to-1 plus 1. That's a 4. This becomes a 5. That's going to be star B. So that is a breakthrough. I ain't going to go anywheres with it. So that Russian unit is shattered. So he'll come back. Oh, that's where that was supposed to be. So he'll come back next turn. I had a unit floating around. I didn't. Oh, there is no. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. All right. So put that there. Okay. Over here we have a 4-to-1, but we have Nebelwerfers who are going to do a ground strike for us first. So we got a 3-point Nebelwerfer. It's going to ground strike these 3 units, which is the cream of the crop of the Russian army. Alright, so we're going to go left to right, red, green, white. Looking for 3s. Well, red, green, white. So the red definitely missed. So the 9-5 is upright. The green hit with a 3. The red missed with a 10. So that's going to flip this unit. And the white also hit. And, oh, jeez. The white also hit with a 1. So that's going to flip the Katushkas. Katushkas. Yeah. Alright, so there is no Soviet air power in range of that hex. So there will be no defensive air support. Our offensive air support is right here. It all gets through. There's no anti-aircraft. So that's going to be a 4-to-1 plus 1. We're going to throw in HQ effects. Meinstein. That's going to give him a plus 2. We have overwhelming armor. That's going to give him a plus 3. 4-to-1 plus 3. Big attack. It's like Kursk. 4-to-1 plus 3. Like Kursk, it's only worse. Actually, it's a little bit better than the attack they had at Kursk. The attack at Kursk was a joke. Alright, let's see what they get. 4-to-1 plus 3. Well, that was a big roll. Right off the table, it's a 9. That is bad. 4-to-1 plus 3. That's a 12. That's star 2B. So 2 units die. 1 is shattered. So obviously the Guards tank mechanized core is the one that's shattered. The other 2 units are dead. That Nebelwerfer is Katushka is expensive. But the big thing out of this is that we just destroyed most of the Soviet counterattack ability down here. That's pretty big. All right, down here we have, I think this is a 9-1. Yes, it is. It's auto dead. And that's on the breakthrough table, so they can exploit, maybe. Yep. Okay. That looks okay. The Germans are kind of happy with that. They kind of bled out the Soviets a little bit. The Japanese are pretty happy with their turn. They kind of stunted the Commonwealth's naval power in the Far East. And the Germans are pretty happy with what their subs did. Completely wrecked the Faroes Gap. All in all, a really good turn for the fascists and a really bad turn for everybody else. Now, let's move on to the communist impulse. I will move them, and I will come back with any potential attacks they have. I'm not thinking there's going to be much of anything. And we'll go from there. Okay, the Soviets have finished their turn. They do not have any attacks. They managed to patch the line in the north. They still have a rail connection to Murmansk, so they're still okay with that. They'd have a few units in reserve behind the line still. They moved their air power up closer to the line. Most of it was planes that had come in this turn. And they had to retreat a little bit down here in the south, but they still have an intact line. So we will see what happens. The Germans have expended most of their air power. They still have a few air units kicking around here and there, but a lot of it has already been used. So, and the Soviet air power has not. So we will see what happens with that. All right, I will move on to the Democrats. I think the Commonwealth is going to take a naval. They don't want the Kriegsmarine and the Italian fleets getting out in the Atlantic and just plowing everything in sight. So they're going to take a naval. The U.S. is also going to take a naval. They don't quite have enough. Oh, the Free French are going to take a land. They don't quite have enough yet to, the U.S. yet, enough offensive points yet to do land and naval at the same time. But, yeah, we're going to go with that and see how that works out. All right, be back in a second with a review of what the Democrats did. Okay, I finished the Democrats' first impulse. And let's go take a look, see what they did over here in the Atlantic. They basically got a whole bunch of stuff out into the Bay of Biscay, because they know if the fascists take a naval, it's going to be a big naval battle. And they're kind of okay with that. They want to bleed them as much as they can, kill as much as they can. There's a little bit of movement down here with the Free French. That was it for them. The Commonwealth got its ships out such as it could. It elected to not sail out of Colombia simply because enough of their ships have flipped over that it's not worth it to try to tangle with the Japanese. And over here we got a search roll. We have some American fleets out there looking for their Japanese counterparts. Hopefully sink a whole bunch of them, so let's roll some dice. See if anything happens. Well, not with that roll. 7 and an 8. Nobody found anything. Sorry. Even with the... Yeah, it did. Nope, nobody found anything. And we have over here, we have some American cruisers looking for some Japanese convoy points, and they did find him. So rather than trying to figure it out, I'm pretty sure those two are just going to get sunk. So I'm just going to take them off. And that's going to be it for that turn. The Americans sailed some transports over the East Coast, and they have a headquarters embarked, ready to go. Could be some action in North Africa is going to happen very soon. If they can get this under control. I mean, really, the Commonwealth and the Americans almost would force a surface action, because it would sink enough Italian and German ships that it would be worth it for them. But hey, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So that's the end of the democracy's impulse. The Chinese didn't do anything. They don't need to do anything. They're pretty happy with holding the line and tying up 3/4 of the Japanese army. So they're okay with that. I think I'm going to end the turn right here. This is kind of long right now. I mean, the first set of impulses really stretched out long. So I think I'll end it right here, and we'll pick up with the next set of impulses with the weather roll, and we'll go from there. Okay, hey, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon with the second half of this turn.